Senior Alexis Fagan of women's ice hockey and sophomore Claire Greineder from women's track and field etched their names in the record books. Women's swimming and diving shocks the University of St. Joseph. And men's basketball picks up its first conference win of the year. All that and more coming up on the next edition of Panther Rewind right now.
Welcome, Panther Nation, to this week's Panther Rewind, brought to you by Biederman's Deli. I'm Dan Salzer, alongside Chris Kilmer, as always. Let's get right to the action.
Senior Alexis Fagan picked up another school record as the women's ice hockey team continued its challenging schedule to start 2020. The Panthers hosted Nazareth College on Friday, while the Golden Flyers were receiving votes in the latest USCHO national poll. The visitors went ahead 2-0 with a pair of goals in the first period, but senior Julie Nagel blasted home the rebound off a shot by classmate Amanda McPherson on the power play 7 minutes into the second period to pull PSU to within 1. Senior Alexis Fagan knotted the game at 2 with the Panthers' second power play tally of the day early in the third period when she collected a rebound and scored on the wraparound. Coming into the game, the Golden Flyers had not surrendered a power play goal all season long. It looked as though the game would head into overtime, but Nazareth escaped with a 3-2 win when a tipped shot snuck past the PSU goaltender with just 9.9 seconds left in the game. Fagan officially cements herself as the most prolific offensive player in program history, as her 31st career goal extended her program record. The point was the 46th of her career, also a school best, and her 9th goal of the year ties the record for most goals in a season. PSU continues its difficult stretch with a pair of home games this weekend. The Panthers host Division I Franklin Pierce on Friday night before welcoming number 6 Norwich to town for Scouts Day on Saturday at 2.
After wrapping up the difficult non-conference schedule, the men's hockey team returned to MASCAC action, hosting Fitchburg State this past Saturday for a battle for first place in the conference standings. Freshman Leo Stolpa and junior Peter Laviolette each tallied goals for PSU, but the Falcons battled back twice from 1-goal deficits in the final period to tie the Panthers 2-2, despite PSU dominating in shots on goal 44-29 and faceoffs 44-34. After a scoreless opening period, the Panthers were able to get on the board first, thanks to Stolpa, who tipped a shot from senior Drake Longacre in the slot that found the back of the net. After a power play goal from Fitchburg to tie the game, PSU would retake the lead later in the third period, thanks to sophomore Mike McPherson's nice feed over to Laviolette when they skated 2-on-1, with Laviolette beating the Falcons netminder stick side top shelf. However, the Falcons would once again tie the game late, and neither team was able to come away with a score in overtime. Stolpa's goal put him one behind team leader and freshman Miles Abbott, who now sits with 7 on the year, while Laviolette now has 5 goals this season. Senior Andreas Pettersson picks up the tie in goal after his 27-save effort, improving to a 5-3-2 record this season. PSU will return to action on the road tomorrow night at Framingham State, before returning to Hanoi Rink this Saturday night to host Westfield State at 6 p.m. on Scouts Night.
Men's basketball went 1-1 in a pair of Little East Conference games last week, topping Castleton for its first LEC win of the year before stumbling against Eastern Connecticut at home on Saturday. Sophomore Manny Alessandro posted a double-double with 16 points and 11 rebounds, and freshman Kevin Henry enjoyed a breakout game with 12 points, 8 boards, 4 assists, and 4 steals to spark PSU to a 74-50 win over Castleton. Senior Jalen Leroy nailed a pair of 3-pointers to help erase an early 5-0 deficit, and the Panthers would lead the rest of the way. The captain scored a team-best 17 points, while freshman Cody Graham also had a big game with 12 points, a game-high 8 assists, to go with 3 rebounds and 3 steals. PSU returned to Foley Gymnasium on Saturday to face a tough Eastern Connecticut team. The Panthers came out aggressive in the first half, and sophomore Dante Rivera canned a triple in the final minute as PSU went into the break with a 31-30 lead. The second half saw back-and-forth action over the first 10 minutes, with the Panthers trailing by just 2, 51-49 midway through the period. After Eastern Connecticut pulled ahead, the Panthers cut the margin to 64-57 with 4 minutes remaining, but the Warriors closed out the game with a 15-3 run to seal the victory. Rivera nailed 5 3-pointers and led the Panthers with 21 points, while Leroy chipped in 11. PSU hosts Southern Maine in another Little East contest tonight at 7:30.
Women's basketball went 0-2 this past week in their long stretch in Little East Conference action against Castleton and Eastern Connecticut State University. Thursday saw the Panthers travel to Vermont to match up with the Spartans of Castleton in what turned out to be a wild comeback effort for PSU that fell short. After trailing by 16 points in the fourth, the Panthers knocked down a pair of three-pointers and were also able to close to within 8 at one point. However, the Spartans were able to regroup down the stretch and hold on for the 49-38 win. PSU shot 28% from the floor with 10 points in the paint, as freshman Alessia Salzillo led the Panthers with 12 points in the setback. On Saturday, PSU would welcome the Warriors of Eastern Connecticut to town. After a quick start by the Warriors, who led 20-11 after the first quarter, the Panthers' defense would shine in the second, holding the powerful Eastern offense to just 10 points. Unfortunately, the Panthers' offense struggled in the second half as the Warriors would score 37 in the final two frames to secure a 67-40 win. Salzillo again led the Panthers in scoring with 13, while classmates Autumn Nelson and Jalen Cook each pulled down 5 rebounds in the loss. PSU will return to the hardwood tonight against Southern Maine in another LEC battle at 5:30 inside Foley Gymnasium.
Women's swimming and diving stormed back from a 7-point deficit in the dual meets final event to top the University of St. Joseph 140-138 on Friday afternoon. The Panthers trailed 134-127 heading into the 200-yard freestyle relay and needed to post both the top time as well as at least a third-place finish to complete the comeback, and PSU was up to the challenge. Sophomores Madeline Svetten and Ellie Wilson, junior Cammie Terrell and freshman Jessica McGregor teamed up to win the relay, while junior Sylvie Donnell, sophomores Gabby Rowe and Julia Hollinger, and freshman Maddie Gifford secured the win with a third-place finish. Svetten led PSU with first-place finishes in all 3 of her individual events, winning the 50-yard backstroke and 100-yard backstroke with season-best times, while also capturing the 100-yard butterfly. Terrell was first to touch the wall in the 50-yard freestyle and 50-yard butterfly, while also placing second in the 100-yard IM, while senior Casey Allaire swept the diving events for the 21st time of her career. With the win, the Panthers improved to 5-1 in dual meets, while handing the Blue Jays their first dual meet loss of the season. Svetten was named the LEC Swimmer of the Week after her impressive performance, and Allaire claimed Diver of the Week honors for the 3rd time this season. Plymouth State heads to Westfield State for another dual meet on Saturday.
For the first time since the season opener back on November 2nd, the wrestling team was back inside the Bank of New Hampshire Fieldhouse as they hosted the annual Jim Aguiar Invitational, coming away with an 8th-place finish this past Saturday in a tournament named in honor of former PSU head wrestling coach Jim Aguiar, who led the Panthers from 1974 to 1985, and as an assistant from 2003 to 2015, freshman Noah Gifford led the Panthers with his 4th-place finish at 197 pounds. Gifford went 4-2 on the day, twice winning by fall, and narrowly missing a 3rd-place finish after losing a decision 5-3. Senior Steve Abushere went 2-2 at 157 pounds, picking up a win by fall in a strong 6-4 decision, while junior Kevin Thomas, sophomore Billy Dunn, and rookie Trevor O'Mara each put in strong showings to help pace PSU to the 8th-place finish. PSU will be back in action this Sunday at the NUA Dual Championships at the Rhode Island Convention Center.
The men's indoor track and field team kicked off the 2020 portion of its season with a strong 2nd-place showing at the Middlebury Winter Classic on Saturday. Competing for the first time since December 7th, freshman Mikey Baker, junior Terrell Lewis, and the Panthers 4x800 relay team all won events to finish 2nd overall, trailing just Division II Franklin Pierce in the team standings. Baker reached 4.15 meters to win the pole vault, while Lewis soared past the competition after clearing 6.67 meters in the long jump. Freshmen Michael Olson and Brett Koop teamed up with sophomore Matt Lyle and senior Noah Byington to lead the 4x800 relay team to the win, while sophomores Marcus Roper and Jacob Rigoli anchored the throwers with 2nd-place finishes in the shot put and weight throw respectively. Freshman Ian Griffiths took 2nd in the 60-meter dash, and senior Nate Belanger was the 2nd-place finisher in the 500-meter run. The Panthers traveled to Smith College for the Mary Grinniker Invitational on Saturday.
Women's track and field were back in action to kick off their 2020 portion of their season at the Middlebury Winter Classic, coming home in 4th place thanks to a strong showing by the underclassmen. Sophomore Claire Graniter reset her own school record in the 200-meter dash to take third place with a time of 27:04 to lead PSU on the day, just beating out classmate Emily Geiselers, who finished with a time of 27.18. Geiselers would also take third in the long jump, clearing 4.72 meters, and fourth in the triple jump with a leap of 9.68 meters. Sophomore Kim Bowles and senior Eve Bagley would finish second and third in the mile run with times of 5:51.54 and 5:53 even, respectfully. Sophomore Paige Boudreau would take third in the weight throw with a distance of 13.05 meters and fifth in the shot put with a throw of 10.85 meters. PSU will be back in action this Saturday at Smith College for the Mary Gronecker Invitational. That'll do it for this week's edition of Panther Rewind. Fans, be sure to enjoy the final week of the winter break as students return next Tuesday, and we'll see you at all the home events this coming weekend.